Okay, that was funny. Hey everybody. So I want to take a second to thank my first Patreon, Vencat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on Patreon. I was kind of blown away when I got home from the movie tonight and saw an email that I got a pledge. You're my first Patreon, and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much. So this is going to be a review of Central Intelligence, starring Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, and Kevin Hart, the stand-up comedian. He's been doing a lot of movies in the past couple of years, though. And I I really liked this movie. It was way funnier than I expected. Like I thought most of the jokes would be in the trailer, just like a lot of comedies that are out there. And one of the things that I hate about comedies that come out the past 15 years is they rely on one really big like gross joke to try and get an uncomfortable laugh out of the audience, something that they'll never forget kind of thing, like American Pie. Um, you know what I'm talking about, right? And this movie did not have that. It didn't go for the usual oblivious or obvious, not oblivious, that's a totally different word, just sounds similar, but totally obvious, like gross humor joke to try and make everybody uncomfortably laugh. And that impressed me. That alone impressed me. But the chemistry between Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson was really good. I liked their banter back and forth, the way that they acted off of each other. It really felt like they were on the same page through the whole movie and that they were having a lot of fun doing it. Now, this is a fun kind of almost buddy cop or buddy movie. Kevin Hart's not a cop, he plays an accountant. And Dwayne Johnson plays a CIA agent. And he needs his accounting skills to catch the bad guys, kind of thing. But I think I like this movie more than most people are going to like it. And this is my little disclaimer. So, in the movie, Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart were in the same high school together. Kevin Hart was the class president, he was the prom king, he was a sports captain, like he was the most popular kid in school. And Dwayne Johnson played the fat guy that nobody liked. And in the beginning of the movie, and you see it in the trailer, these bullies drag uh, Dwayne Johnson's character out of the locker room where he was taking a shower and throws him in the middle of this class auditorium naked. And so he's totally embarrassed. Everybody's laughing at him. And Kevin Hart takes his letter jacket off and hands it to him so he could cover himself. And Kevin Hart was the only person that was nice to him in school. Now, for one, I was the big guy that got bullied a lot when I was growing up on the East Coast. Not so much when I moved out to Colorado. People didn't really pick on the big guys. They were usually afraid of me. But on the East Coast, I got picked on and bullied a lot growing up. So I instantly related with Dwayne Johnson's character. I was always the big fat guy that always got bullied. And I gravitated to my handful of friends that were nice to me or helped stand up for me and that kind of thing. So I was instantly on page with that. Then again, the class was the class of 1996. I am the high school graduation class of 1996. And so all of the music that's in the movie and every reference that they have makes perfect sense to me because that's the year I graduated. I'm fully in on that. I get it. And then later on, when the characters are grown up and they've developed. Johnson's character still has things about his past that make him nervous, and I have some of that. There are certain situations that make me nervous, but for the most part, I've taken control of a lot of those things. I don't get bullied anymore. I don't allow people to do that to me, and I don't allow I don't allow anybody to do that to anybody else. And so there was a lot of this movie that seemed geared specifically for me, which I know it's not. It's geared for a lot of people, just anybody that gets bullied. But there were so many things and references and music and all that stuff that happened during that time period that really brought back a lot of memories for me. So I like it more than I think most people will because of that. But I also laughed through the whole movie. Like, I was laughing through the whole movie. And that's rare for a comedy for me these days. Most comedies only get, 3 or 4 good laughs out of me, and then that's it. But I was laughing for most of this movie. Now, the story is simple. It's a comedy. You can't expect an overcomplicated storyline, something that would need a huge amount of exposition. So for a comedy, I would give this a 9 out of 10. And because it's a comedy slash kind of action movie, most of the action scenes were really good. And I liked the way that they mapped them out. They had some good shots where they would set up a scenario, they would move through the scenario. It was very smooth and clean for a lot of the bigger action sequences. But for some of the fight scenes, there were too many close-ups, too many jump cuts, and too much little shaky cam. But that was only for maybe 2 fight scenes, and it was pretty quick, and so I was okay with it. But that's what bumped it down to a 9 for me. Other than that, I love this movie. If you like comedies and you're like me and you want to just laugh in general, but you don't really like those big gross out cheap laughs, I think you would like this movie. And Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart have a great chemistry together. I hope they do a sequel. I would totally be on board. I'm ready to watch the next one right now. I'm left the theater happy. It's a great just laugh and eat your popcorn and drink your soda movie. So there you go, 9 out of 10. So like I said in the beginning of my video, I have a Patreon account. Thank you to Venkat for being my first Patreon. I'm blown away and on cloud 9 of happy above seeing a funny comedy. So it was just a huge icing on the cake. I thank you very much. But you can check my Patreon. I got a link here, and I have it in the description below, along with my Facebook and Twitter if you would like to go and check those out. Comment below and let me know what you thought of this movie. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. And I will see you guys on the next video.